Next on the program, Mr. Arsalan Mozaffari Falarti, the representative of the Nematollahi Ghadeer Ali Shahi Sufi order, will deliver his speech on peace and unity of humanity from the Sufi perspective. Mr. Arsalan Mozaffari Falarti was born in Isfahan, Iran, and was formerly educated as a textile engineer. In this field, he provided expertise and consultation in wool production and expanded his business into Europe and Australia. In 1986, he migrated to Australia with his wife and 2 children and became involved in several advisory bodies and organizations for industry, culture, and religion. Currently, Arsalan is a president of the Iranian Federation of Cultural and Arts Societies. In November 2012, he published his first book, Meditations on Sufism, The Way of the Modern Dervish, through Balboa Press, a division of US self-help and New Age publishers Hay House. This book is a collection of talks that he has given since 2006 regarding the practice of Sufism and has a conversational, friendly, and simple approach. Sufism's basic tenets are to love creation and to serve creation. His book seeks to show ordinary people how to apply these on a daily basis. Let us welcome Mr. Falarti.
یا حق. Saadi, an Iranian or a Persian poet and scientist, after traveling the world for 50 years, 2 of his books are famous. The Orchid and the Flower Garden, or you call it Rose Garden. He has a poem which United Nations choose that as the symbol of humanity. He says, بنی آدم اعضای یکدیگرند که در آفرینش ز یک گوهرند چو عضوی به درد آورد روزگار دگر عضوها را نماند قرار تو که از محنت دیگران بیغمی نشاید که نامت نهند آدمی. Did you get it? He says, human beings are all the parts or limbs of a body because their creation is from one precious jewel. If one of those limbs is affected by the time, all the other limbs also will be affected and in pain. You creature, if you are not affected by sorrows and grief of others, we can't call you a human being. This was written more than 800 years ago. Karen Armstrong's book was given to me by a friend of mine about 5 years ago, about Muhammad, the Prophet of Islam. My friend, we were friends for 15 years. And when he gave me the book, he said, I was hating you, but by reading this book, now I don't hate you. Anyway, Sufism, or what we call it, dervishhood or faqr, is a school. This school is a mixture, amalgamation of all the teachings of the great people like Buddha, Zarathustra, Moses, Abraham, Jesus, Muhammad. And because it is introduced to Europe via Arabs, it is called Sufi, because the dervishes put on a white cloth. Sufis is very simple. And that simplicity is just love. It doesn't have any master, it doesn't have any school, it doesn't have any teacher, it doesn't have any organization, anything. Just love. When we love each other, when we surrender to each other, there will be no separation. There will be no argument. There will be no discussion. There will be no fight. Just love each other, but truly. And how does it start? It creates peace. It creates unity. Yesterday there was a Harmony Day and I was speaking in the Sunshine Coast. And they said that from last century that there was apartheid in South Africa, they decided to have Harmony Day. And I referred to them and said, 7,018 years ago, Iranians were celebrating Nowruz, which is now the Harmony Day. And that is the message of beauty and happiness and love. Be happy, be productive, be manufacturer. Hafiz, another Persian poet from Shiraz who loved wine very much, especially red wine, because wine comes from Shiraz. He says, فاش میگویم و از گفته خود دلشادم بنده عشقم و از هر دو جهان آزادم. I speak frankly and that makes me happy. I am the slave of love and I'm free from both worlds. A Sufi or a Dervish doesn't do his works because he wants to have a good fame. He wants to have a position. He also doesn't bother about paradise and beautiful ladies and young men and all the jewels and gold and things there are. A dervish is a slave of love, is a slave of humanity. So, peace education and the form about it is just love, but true love. A love decided about by our heart, not by our brain, not by our mind. All of us are here human beings. Jesus Christ was a human being. Please read Gospels. When he says God is love, is there anything else you can add to that? Doesn't peace, unity, friendship, whatever you call it, come from that? Buddha, he was a great prince. He had position and situation and all the good things. He just left them back, left them behind. And he became a simple person. Doesn't it make peace? Doesn't it make unity? It's nice and easy to talk. It's beautiful to talk, to give examples and to say this and lecture and this and that. But what is action? Words are cheap. In Quran, the book of Islam, God says, we made you individuals and divided you into tribes so that you recognize, discover, and know each other. It means go and see what your neighbor is. I am ashamed to ask this question. How many of you did you knock the door of the house of your neighbor and ask him, how are you this morning? That is it. Who cares about my religion or your religion? Do you think God needs it? He doesn't. But your neighbor does. But I do. A meek, indigent, poor, ugly, whatever call it person like me needs you to love him. Which one of you does love me except my father, my wife, and my beloved Shahi who is here? I hope some more people. So this is the way a Darwish or a Sufi looks at the peace and at the world and at the life. Look at the ocean. When it is quiet, the waters are in harmony. They move beautifully. It's a symphony. When it is disturbed, the huge waves come. Tsunamis created. Then why shouldn't we calm? Why shouldn't we love each other? Why shouldn't we try to understand each other? Why shouldn't human beings, true human beings, be Jesus? They put him on the cross and says, Father, forgive them because they don't know what they do. This is the way a Darwish thinks of life. This is the way a Sufi wants to be. A Sufi, a Darwish is nothing. Is a slave of humanity. A slave of his beloved. A Darwish is looking at the light of love and just goes that way. Doesn't look what is happening there. Doesn't look what is in his way. Fire, swords, broken glasses, or nice and soft and petals of roses. All are the same. Please, I beg you, be a Darwish. Be a simple, a meek person, an indigent person. That is all it matters. If that happens, we don't need any arms. We don't need any hatred. We don't need any different schools. We just are one humanity, one human being. As we are born from a father and a mother. Thank you very much, and excuse or ignore my ignorance.